So remember to everyone, you are realtors in the room.
All right, now that we've clarified your realtors, how's everyone doing today? Fantastic. That's great today. A lot of familiar faces here today, but for those of you that don't know me, my name is Jeremy Lovett. I'm with WJ Bradley Mortgage right downstairs. We love offering up our classroom here to real estate professionals like yourself. Today, your office manager, Roy, asked that I come up and give you a 5-minute crash course on the FHA 203K full loan program. You'll see the flyer in front of you. I've gone over some bullet points here. This will cover most everything you need to know as realtors about this program. We're going to buzz through this super quick. At the end, we're going to have about a minute for questions, so we'll dive right in. First off, what makes FHA 203K loans unique? Those of you that don't know anything about these, they are purchase and rehabilitation loans, all built into one. So you find a property, needs some work, they buy it, they do the rehabilitation, it's built right into the loan here. Number one, single closing with holdback for repairs. We're not doing a first and a second. This is a single closing, no closing after the fact, nice and simple. Number two, mortgage is based on the projected completed value of the property. A lot of times the problem is you get to that property, it's missing a wall, it's missing windows, half the roof is missing. The value of that property is extremely low. With the FHA 203K program, we appraise the as-is and the as-completed value. We're going to base the loan amount, or at least the projected maximum loan amount, on the as-completed value. Number three, it works as a purchase or refinance. So if they purchased a home for cash, they need to do this to get the repairs done, or they've got some old dilapidated building that they need to make fixed, as long as it's their primary residence, it can be used as a refinance as well as a purchase. Number four, it can be used to add square footage, a garage, patios, and landscaping. There are other programs, including the FHA Streamline program, that will not allow you to do these, but in the FHA Full 203K, you can add square footage, garages, things like that. Number five, finance mortgage reserves for up to 6 months of principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So if the house is uninhabitable while it's under construction, we can actually finance the principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. What is the process like? Buzz through real quickly. Buyer locates a home needs a repair. Buyer consults with a cost consultant and contractors for the repairs and the cost. The key here is the cost consultant. We set you up with a local cost consultant to make sure that the borrower and the contractors are all on the same page and they're not being unrealistic. Property is appraised as is and as completed. Closing occurs as irregularly worded. We do a permit and a cost consultant draw at closing. So the only draw we're going to do at closing is for the permits and for the cost consultant. After that, draws work as the property is completed. We do a maximum of 5 draws. So if it takes 4 draws to get it done, that's fine. We can go all the way up to 5 draws. So as the work is getting done, we do draws along the way. Number 7, work is to be completed within 6 months. So they've got 6 months to do all this work. Should be plenty of time to do even the largest projects. And the final draw will include all holdbacks. If you look into the details on this particular program, they hold back 10% of all of the draws just to make sure that everybody stays honest throughout the process. The final draw includes all those holdback funds so everybody is made whole at the end. What are the repair requirements? There's a minimum of $15,000 or $5,000 that needs to be spent on the existing structure. So if the point of this loan is for you to add a garage that's unattached, you still got to use $5,000 to repair the existing structure before you start allocating funds for that extra garage. Number 2, cannot be all cosmetic, but cosmetic-only items can be included. Hopefully that makes sense. You can do cosmetic items, but your entire list cannot be all cosmetic. A cost consultant is required to help establish the cost of the proposed repairs. This is just here to make sure that everybody knows what they're doing. Most of our borrowers aren't full-time contractors, so they can be a little bit unreasonable on what they expect and what the costs are going to be here. Contractors chosen must be licensed to perform the work necessary, so they've got to have their state license. If there's some electrical work, they've got to be licensed in electrical and plumbing. Whatever it is, they need to be thoroughly licensed. We double-check all of that. And number 5, a contingency reserve of 10 to 20% for rehab costs. It's kind of up to you or up to the clients and the cost consultant on how large this reserve is. It's going to be a minimum of 15% though if during the initial inspection there are no utilities on the property. Other than that, it can vary between 10 and 20%, with 10% being the minimum. What repairs and improvements cannot be done? Huge question that always comes up in these classes, so I'll just go through some of these. Barbecue pits, pools, outdoor spas, and gazebos, none of those can be added in here. If these already exist and they need to be repaired, that's fine and dandy. We just can't add them after the fact. Number 5, work not meeting building codes. Pointing this out that everything you do will meet local building codes. So just want to make sure that everybody knows that. And number 6, luxury items with the contingency money. I'm inevitably asked, hey, if I've got that extra 10 or 20% left over at the end, can I use those to paint a mural, do this, that, or the other thing? We can't use those extra funds for any luxury items. Most important for you is when would I use this product? So you've now got this specialty tool in your toolbox. Here's where you pull it out. Number one, buyer's already looking for an FHA 203K Streamline, but spending more than $35,000. The Streamline is maxed out at $35,000, so if they really want to do some heavy lifting on this project, they're looking at a full 203K. Number two, buyers find the perfect home, but it needs some structural repairs. Anytime you're touching structural repairs and you're looking at an FHA rehab loan, we're doing the full 203K. Number three, buyers cannot get an offer accepted on a turnkey home, but want something nice. We're seeing a lot of this now. We know inventory is low. We know it's tough for you to get accepted offers out there, but if they find that perfect Arcadia home, but it just needs some work and so it's not getting some offers, use this particular tool, help them get that home, help them make it exactly the way they want it. And number four, buyers want something new, but want to be in an established neighborhood. This is the way you make it happen. Some people want a new home, but not everybody wants to live down in Maricopa. This is a way to help them get what appears to be a new home in the neighborhood that they like. So looks like I've got just a minute or so left. Does anybody have any questions? Right up front, what's your name?
Corey,
Hey Corey, what's your question?
well, the first question is, when do I get paid?
Well, when you get paid at closing just like regular as pointed out here. Another question?
So it would be part of the process area?
Yep. The sale closes just like any other loan would. You're not involved after the fact except probably babysitting me and the buyers a little bit. Shouldn't be too intensive. Over here, what's your name?
Kimberly,
Kimberly, how can I help?
how fast can you close these 2 or 3K?
203K loans, I'm going to need at least 30 to 45 days to get the upfront work done. After that, you can see we've got up to 6 months to get the piece done. If you give me 45 days, it'll give me more than enough time. In most cases, I'm going to get it done in 30. We stay on top of the contractors and the cost consultant. In the back, your name?
Brian,
Hey, Brian.
who is this cost consultant and where do you or I or the buyers find them?
You're not going to be too involved in that. Me and the buyer, we jump right onto FHA's website. They've got a list of cost consultants in our area. We go through a few of them. If they're happy with them, we move right on with that cost consultant.
And if they're not,
If they're not happy with them,
what if their brother-in-law is a general contractor?
if they're not a listed cost consultant, unless it makes a whole bunch of sense to both me and the borrower, chances are it's not going to fly. Anybody else have any other questions? Got time for probably one more?
What happens if I go on the contract, I got the work started, and I got to cancel the contract?
I'm not sure I understand your question. What was your name?
Pat?
Okay, so you've got
Oscar.
Okay, Oscar.
No,
So
I like Oscar.
you've got a contract and clarify again?
Something happens, I get the work started, and I've got to move and I got to cancel the contract.
That's going to be a unique scenario. There are such things as change orders after the fact. Sounds like you've got a more complicated scenario than a change order. I'm not entirely sure I know the exact answer to that question, but sounds like a mess. That was probably our last question.
Sounds like the first page default.
Oh, sounds like a huge mess.
That's the first page default.
I guess one last question. You over here, what's your name?
Roy,
Roy. How
What
can I
if-
help you?
what if it goes past 6 months?
I'm not entirely sure what happens after 6 months, but guess what? I'm going to be on top of you, and the cost consultant stays with you the entire time. So the cost consultant is going to monitor your contractor, they're going to monitor your time frame, they're going to monitor your budget. It's going to be unlikely it goes past 6 months, but I'm sure that there's a remedy for it. All right, I'm sure I didn't get all of your questions, but if anybody else has any questions that weren't answered today, feel free to email me or call me. You'll notice on the back of your flyers all of my contact information, as well as a little bit of information about my team. I understand it's difficult for me to establish a business relationship with you in a 5-minute crash course. What I would love is the opportunity to build a relationship with each and every one of you by helping you out with your next difficult deal. So if you've got a lender that's not calling you back, they're giving you some funny excuses, they've got some weird deal that's killing your transaction, give me a call. If the deal can be done, we'll knock it out quick and easy for you. If you want to avoid that altogether, have them call me in the front of the transaction. You'll see we make things nice and simple. Also, I'm a certified real estate instructor. The first and third Tuesday of every month, I hold a CE class up here for free from 1 to 4 p.m. So if you'd like information on my next few classes, shoot me an email or give me a call. Thanks and have a great day.
Thanks.